Peace, peace. Peace, Moors. Islam. Peace to all the Moors and non-Moors. We're about to get in a little something real quick. The wisdom of Confucius. Very key little thing I want to point out about Confucius. Islam more that most people don't understand, right? So, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace, brother. Prophet Noble Drew Ali told us that we honor all the divine prophets. That's Buddha, Confucius, Jesus, and Muhammad, right? Yeah, Confucius, well, I know he had like 2 children. As far as I know, like 2 main children, but what it is with Confucius, he has the longest, as they recorded, the longest or biggest family line still existing to this day. Like, just like a whole bunch of Kongs. All right, anybody with the last name Kong probably is like a descendant of Confucius somewhere in there or whatever. So that's what that whole thing is about. And they can record up to the 77th or something like that generation since he, survived, since he was alive. I don't know. I don't know about Confucius sleeping with hundreds of women every day. I know that he was a man of high moral standard, and I know that he wasn't necessarily a rich man with a whole bunch of concubines. So, I don't know about that. Peace, Nico. But yeah, hundreds of women a day. I don't know. He was a. I don't know. Maybe. But look though, the wisdom of Confucius, right? So we have, like I said, Prophet Noble Drew Ali said we honor all the divine prophets. He said Buddha, Confucius, Jesus, and Muhammad, right? Well, here's the thing. Prophet Noble Drew Ali essentially was all those guys, all right, returned, all right? But I'm going to go into that in a different thing. But what I want to dispel today is everybody coming with this narrative like, we the Jews, y'all probably heard it, the Hebrew Israelites, and all this kind of stuff. All right. But people who call themselves Jews don't realize they're calling themselves a Confucianist. You're calling yourself a Confucianist when you call yourself a Jew. Real talk. That's where the term comes from. Okay. To be a Jew, to be a Hebrew Israelite, to be an Israelite and all that kind of stuff, you must possess priestly wisdom. You must know how to read and code. All right. So let's look at this real quick so you'll understand. First, check out my man Elihu Pleasant Bay, what he says. The true meaning of the title Jew, all right, does not does not merely mean worshiper of God, but announces the presence of an adept master of God consciousness. Okay, so the true title Jew means an adept master of God consciousness. Just because you were born in the so-called Judaism faith and wear your yarmulke and all that doesn't mean that you're a Jew. Once again, that's not a nation. A Jew is saying the same thing as an Israelite. Okay. Right here, let's look in the dictionary, this old dictionary, one I love a lot. A Jew. Okay. Now you see this right here. A Jew. From Middle French, Old French, Gil. From Latin, Judaeus, right? From Greek, Iodeus. From Hebrew, Yehudi. Okay. So Yehudi or Judah, Jewish kingdom. A member of the tribe of Judah or an Israelite. An Israelite. Very important. Keep those in your head. Israelite, what a true Jew is. A Jew is an Israelite. Okay? Now, here's the crazy thing. Remember, how long ago was Yeshua here? Islam, I knew. 2,000 years ago, right? So we all should know that Confucius was here before Jesus. Confucius and Buddha, Confucius and Buddha were damn near contemporaries, right? So if a Christian is called somebody who believes in Christ is a Christian. They call a person who adheres to Islam as a Muslim, right? Somebody that adheres to Judaism as a Jew. What do you call somebody who adheres to Confucius tenets? Nobody ever says that, you're a Confucianist? No. The term Jew, Confucianism, is known in China as the religion of the Jew since Confucius's time. So, look, the term Jew was already current in Confucius' day, and the scholars styled as Jew were probably a special set of people, conservative in their point of view, backed by historical scholarship. Let me say it again, historical scholarship, and wearing a special Jew cap, your so-called yarmulke, and a Jew gown as the symbols of their belief in the past. Now look at this. This is a Jew. So those people calling themselves Jews today are claiming they're Confucianist, right? Look up the term Jew, right? Matter of fact, I think it says it right here. Look, yeah, okay. The term Jew. You see where it says Israelite, and it says 6th century BC. Now, they're saying they started calling themselves Jews around 6th century BC. Confucius was born then, right? That's the same time Confucius was born. But here go the crazy thing. Confucius, matter of fact, he's born in the 6th century, would be, in the 500s or so, or whatever, right? It's always one behind. But nevertheless, they were already current. They were already calling people Jews in that day. So before Confucius was born like 550 BC. So before he was even born, they had that term of Jew. So who the true Jews then? Right? The Israelites and all that kind of stuff. Now, here's the quintessential understanding to this. And this is where I'm going with this. The prophet knew exactly what he's talking about. And that's why he said, woe to those who call themselves Jews, because that's a Confucian term. And if you don't know history, right? You don't study history and all that kind of stuff. You are not a Jew. You have to engage in scholarship, backed by historical scholarship. Okay, you got to know what's really up out here. Okay, so we go into the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Very good book, very important. Now remember, we just read that a Jew is an Israelite. Okay, what's the Israelite? The metaphysical sense, because this is what's important. The esoteric is important too, because it deals with the etymology. But the metaphysical meaning of an Israelite or a Jew, because they're the same thing, according to the dictionary, the illuminated thoughts in consciousness, which are undergoing spiritual discipline. They are the total of our religious thoughts. Okay? Your thoughts are the Israelites. This is what I keep trying to tell you, man. We Israelites. We are Moorish Americans. All right. Israelites are enlightened or perfected Canaanites, Moabites, Hamites. Okay. It's all the same tribes. It's all the same tribe. Israel is a Canaanite. You can read that in Secret Places of the Lion by George Williamson Hunt. It's the same thing. The anthropological significance or differences between them are nil. They're the same people. The Israelites represent the thoughts in us that belong to the Israel consciousness. They typify that in us which is always endeavoring to follow the inner leading of the divine law. You're an Israelite when you try to get your moral compass together. You're an Israelite, or you're having Israelite thoughts, or you're Israel, however you want to put it, when you seek to be in line with the divine will of Allah, the divine law, hermetic principles, things of that sort. Okay? Israel in the metaphysical dictionary means Israel as a nation in its highest significance symbolizes spiritual consciousness. So don't be calling yourself a Jew or Israelite if you have not realized spiritual consciousness that is in tune with divine law, not biblical law as has been given to you. If you are not understanding the Bible from a scholarly point of view, the things you read from a scholarly point of view, this is why Taj Tariq and all the great Moors and Cujo and all of them tell you etymology, right? That's why Asir told you to study history. Then you will be a Jew, an Israelite. Yes, you must know cosmic law, astrology. You have to know these things. Don't be talking about in the Bible it says that astrology was evil. It also said that slavery was good. Okay? Don't talk to me about the Bible if you don't know who the Nicene Creed is. If you don't know that in 325 AD, Constantine basically hijacked the narrative of the Bible, don't talk to me about the Bible if you don't understand that fact. Okay? If you don't know about the Septuagint, which is the Greek version that came first, don't talk to me about the Bible. Okay? The thoughts that have been wrought in truth and righteousness make the spiritual mind or spiritual consciousness Israel. Spiritual consciousness is Israel. Okay? So don't get hung up on the nationality piece. We're all Moorish Americans, Israelites. We are Moorish American Israelites when you've come to the highest precipice of scholarly knowledge. And it's not hard. Scholarly knowledge doesn't mean you have to know how to build a rocket. Scholarly knowledge means you apply the foundational and technical sciences like etymology, right? The simple stuff. What's this word really mean? Okay. This is what Israelites are. Okay. So woe to those who call themselves Jew. I'm going to tell you one more time. The term Jew was already current in Confucius' day, and the scholars styled as Jew were probably a special set of people, conservative in point of view, backed by historical scholarship, and wearing a special Jew cap, your so-called, yarmulkes, fezzes, and all that, and Jew gown as the symbols of their belief in the past, because you have to know your past to know where you're going. Hey, Mom. You have to know your past to know where you're going. Okay? We all fell off our bike. If you're riding down the street and you fall off your bike, right? And you get back up, you're not going to walk to where you was going. You're going to go back, pick up your bike, and get back on it. That's what we're trying to tell you about Moorish nationality. It's not about believing in this and that, because Israelites are Muslims, not Muslim. Muslims. Okay? Abraham, Yeshua, they all called the great God of the universe Allah. This is a proven fact. Okay? So, like I said, don't get caught up in this who are the Jews and all this. Jews are people who follow Confucius. Prophet Noble Jew Ali was 5 times the prophet. Okay, he was all these guys combined. And he told you we honor Confucius. But don't be calling yourself an Israelite or a Jew if you don't have scholarship, specifically in history. Okay. Or like I like to call it, mystery. It's really mystery. It's his story versus mystery, or my story. Okay. Moorish history is mystery. Okay. So that's just a quick little something, just so we on the same track, and a little bit of information you can use for people who get caught up in the Israelite Jew thing and all that kind of stuff, because they're not wrong, but they just don't get it. That's all. The true meaning of the title Jew, it's a title. It's not an identity. It's not a nationality. Who's the Jew mama? You know what I'm saying? It means an adept master of God consciousness. OK, this is what Prophet Noble Drew Ali was trying to get across, because he was a member of the Kemet and Adept mystery schools. OK, so he's telling you right here, 2 different books. Noble Drew Ali, Exhuming of a Nation. You have to earn to be a Jew. You have to earn the title to be an Israelite. You don't it's not no bloodline thing. It's a spiritual bloodline thing. It's a spiritual thing. So walking around calling yourself an Israelite and the true Jews and all that don't do nobody no good, because you're not enlightened. It's a real light. Exactly. You have to be a real light. And to be enlightened, you have to know something. Stop thinking you know something. You got to actually be in these books and then doing the works and being open to receiving the messages that Allah has from you, because we are here to fix up this old rickety ship and put it back together and get the heck up out of here. The Merkabah, the body, the Star of David. OK, all of that stuff, the Kabbalah, tree of life. It's all about the body. The whole Bible is about the human body and astrology, how it work together. And the parts that are not are about genealogy. OK, about bloodline ties and, whose father was whose father's type stuff. But get this book, because everybody in the book has a metaphysical understanding of why that character is that. Because not every character in the Bible is real either. Some of them are just energy. Some of them are just to make you help you to understand an energetic point of view of a characteristic of Allah, right? So Allah is mighty, right? So that might be your Judah. You get what I'm saying? Allah is kind. So that might be your good Samaritan spirit in the Bible. OK, not everything's literal. Y'all can't keep reading this literal. You have to read the Bibles like a priest. And you must know scholarly things like etymology. OK, you got to know how to tie these things together. Don't believe the hype. This is a good book. Don't believe all that Lot's children were incest and all that, because that doesn't even make sense. Lot was a righteous man, i.e. why he was the only one saved out of the whole dang town of Sodom and Gomorrah. He took care of the prophets or the angels who came to visit him. You think that the Most High doesn't think good of that? Of course he does. So don't be believing that he went and slept with his sisters or his daughters and all that. And let's just be real. If that's the case, then everybody did. Why Moors call each other brother and sister to this day then? Why all black people call themselves that? Brother, sister. So you sleeping with your sister? If Lot is incest, then so is y'all. All right. So when you look in the Kemet and Pantheon and all that kind of stuff, you'll realize it was that kind of setup. Because if we all came from Adam and Eve, so-called, then who ain't brother and sister in that sense? Who ain't cousins? I mean, you know what I mean? If they want to break it down like that. If they want to use that against you, like one melanated person different from another one or something. Like, come on, please. You got kinky hair. If I got nappy hair, you got nappy hair, then shoot. And dark skin, then we the same. I don't care what side of the planet we on. All right. So that's just a little something I've been holding on to for a little while. wanting to, bust it out or whatever, put the knowledge out there. If you calling yourself a Jew, you're saying you a scholar, especially in history. All right. So peace and love to y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the lesson. And leave any comments or questions or whatever. Yeah, they misused the 144 as well. It's all esoteric. The 144 is talking about the crystals that reside within your pineal gland. But I ain't gonna get into that science like that right now. Just look Dr. Aline Bay up, and he goes into that a little bit more. All right. So you must choose yourself. Yeah, hey Musa, man, I'm gonna try to do this, man. I just be, trying to play my role and buy my time with my little information, because what I'm about to do, is start busting out these books and just going over different parts of them, because man, you'll be surprised. The stuff I be finding be crazy, man. I'm like, hold on, really? And then it's like the Most High telling me, oh yeah, go ahead and, put that out there. Because people, like you said, Sosa, need that knowledge. Real quick, I'm going to leave y'all with this, man. For everybody who don't know what's up, when you talk about, get this book, 101 questions, Quran questions for Moorish Americans. It breaks it all down. And the genealogy of Jesus. All right. And what a Moor is. Okay. We know that Jesus' grandma was Ruth. Why we keep playing with this Moabite thing? What is the nationality of Ruth? A Moabitess. What is the modern name, 31, for the Moabites? Moroccans. Where is the Moroccan Empire? Northwest of Mexum. Now, all your little state governments told you who we are, that we're the Moabites. Look up House Resolution 0689 out of Texas and Illinois. They both have a 0689. And then look up House Resolution 1203 out of Georgia. And then they co-sign what the prophet brought. He brought us everything, y'all. Y'all know what this is? Y'all see what this is real quick while I'm on my high horse? Our authority, right? When you get this book, you get the actual copy of the religious affidavit of organization 0689, not 19, as far as I know, MGV CCI. But you get this on the back, and people are like, what is this? Do y'all know what the Moorish Science Temple was meant to do? The Moorish Science Temple, in its full and best capacity, literally was to be the corporate body that we could use. How they use like Catholic churches and Jewish synagogues to like run all the business through. That's how we're supposed to use the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Jews and the Catholics ripped off the idea from the prophet. Everybody stole from the prophet and then tried to bury him. Nation of Islam, Nation of Gods and Herbs, all ripped off the prophet. Okay? So the prophet, when he started the religious organization, he made it so that we could take like our houses, right? Put them in the behest of the temple. So we can make businesses through the temple. So that we can pay our taxes and pay our governmental dues and stuff to our government. And that could be administered by the temple, right? So now no Moors would have to worry about having a place to live, having a place to, if we was homeless in a hard time, because the temple will be the religious organization that would come through, that was holding the trust of all the businesses and all the money making facilities of the nation, and then distributing to us, the redeemed, clean and pure nation. So then the temple would start businesses. The temple would be able to start schools. The temple will be able to run everything business-wise and commercially through the temple. And all you would have to do is proclaim your nationality and be a Moorish American. That's how it went. But these dirty sheiks traded in our birthrights so they could get a couple frills and stay up under massa, because they didn't have the acumen or the balls to take this thing by the horns like a true Israelite. And that's what's wrong with these people, is that we ain't had the Israelites running these things. We had the Sodomites running this dang thing. We had the dang Freemasonic influences running our temples and getting into it. Look it up. It's all written. You can look. You can read the FBI files of how the temple got infiltrated and all that. Yeah, you can keep the gold and all the whatever through the temple. You literally, like, how it could go like is like this. Your temple, boom, right in your city. Got your temple. You a Moorish American. All right. For one, the temple would have had businesses set up. So like, just say we got Moorish ran industry in your city that is let's say chartered or had been started by the Moorish Science Temple. Now you go work at that Moorish industry. You wouldn't need no social security. You wouldn't need none of that. You would only need your nationality ID card, because with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. That's why the prophet said that. So then, boom, you go work at, let's say, the Moorish whatever, the Moorish apothecary. You get your money up, you know what I'm saying? You in close connection with your Grand Sheikh, because your Grand Sheikh is a good and upstanding member of the Moorish community in your part of the city. You come to him like, hey, Grand Sheikh, you know, I'm thinking about starting me a little family or whatever, right? I'm trying to get me a little crib, a little house. He like, yeah, well, you work for the Moorish apothecary. You've been working there for, 5-6 years. You know what I'm saying? You want to move out your family's house and y'all want to get your own little estate or something like that going. Cool. He might tell you the parameters, the details to do to, get the situation going. But essentially, the temple would be able to get you that house. OK, so if y'all needed a house or some land, the temple would be able to administer that for you with the Grand Sheikh. So then you wouldn't have to mess with the United States. You wouldn't have to mess with the corporation in that sense, because you would be a private citizen. So we needed to interface with the United States and put the right paperwork on record to be like, hey, look, this is a Moorish land. This is a Moorish estate or whatever. The temple would do that for you, and the Grand Sheiks would handle that business. And then you could just be a good, upstanding citizen of the Moorish American nation, doing what you're supposed to be doing, uplifting, teaching your children the right things. That's how this was supposed to go. But it's been sideswiped from us. We got to take it back. I'll tell you a few reasons why we got to take it back, why we got to get back in these temples. I know they're dirty, but that's why you want to go into the temples in some numbers. You want to come deep. And you might not even want to, when you go to them, don't really establish a leader, because these dirty sheiks might pinpoint the leader and try to get him jacked up. Y'all just come as a collective of people. And we need to take these temples back. Start getting in them. Start speaking the science. Start going forward as speaking what the prophet left for us. Okay? Shoot, we just got to roll with the ones that who do. It might be 4 of y'all. But shoot, I'll take 4 sincere people over a million score of weak-hearted, small-minded, no passion individuals who don't want to see their movement redeemed. Okay, we got to take these temples back, y'all, because you know why? The whole world's looking at us crazy if we don't support our own prophet. Hey, Akil, yeah, come through when you get out the post office. But how are we not gonna go redeem our prophet stuff? How are we gonna let dirty Moors just sit in the chambers that our prophet set up, and then just be like, well, damn, F the temple then. We just gonna start our own thing. That's holy law. We have to go redeem our prophet. That's Jesus' return. And the prophet was so gracious with it. Allah was so gracious with it. He allowed us to actually have a picture. We're the only nation on earth who has an actual picture, without a question of a doubt, of who our prophet is. You ever thought about that? Like, they speculate with Jesus. He was a Moor, of course. They don't know what Moses looked like and all that. We got pictures of our prophet on the internet. Worldwide. The actual what he looked like. Tons of them, too. We literally looking at Jesus and we don't even know it. So we got to redeem that, man. We got to come through. That's what it is. You will have the holy zeal. I'm not talking no radicalism. I'm talking about getting yourself right, getting your studies up, and then you will be prepared, because then Allah will let you know the next moves. How can we do that and we have Christians and all these control religions trying to control us? It takes bravery. It takes you getting uncomfortable. I'm going to tell you what I did, and that's all I can do. People won't come in here and act like they got all the solutions and stuff. Like, man, all we need to do is this. I got my ideas. I got things that Allah's guided me to do and things that I feel like are best practices and whatnot. But I'm just going to tell you what I did. When I realized the truth, I did something crazy. I left all that world behind. You can call it crazy. I saw it for what it is. I left and I quit my job. I got evicted out of my home. I lost my cars. I lost my money. And I smiled all the way down. Why? Because I realized that Allah is the only thing that provides for me. And He cleaned my life up. My mind changed. I studied. I studied with eviction notices on my door. Okay? Now, I'm not telling everybody to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I have children. Yes, I have responsibilities. But my number one responsibility is spiritual responsibility. And if I don't correct that, I don't care what I leave my children. It won't benefit them more than what the Spirit will, more than what knowledge and truth will. So I left that life behind and I started trying to make my own businesses. Me and my wife had to move in with my grandma. Man, I went through it. I went through it for this. And I'm not scared to say it, and I'm not acting like everybody has to do what I did. I'm just saying that's what I did, and then things became clear. Things started popping up. I started getting what I needed. Bills stopped coming. Strange occurrences started happening. I started seeing ancestors. They started visiting me in my sleep. I was getting pulled to the astral realm. Things started popping off. Okay? And I stopped giving a dang. I took all the anger that I felt and I channeled it and I focused it into studying and to learning and to be a better man. I gave up my vices. Okay? I stopped the drinking and the smoking, habitual, and just, because it's Tuesday, I'm about to turn up. I stopped all that. I stopped going to the clubs. I stopped going to the bars. You feel me? I stopped talking vulgar. I started living sincerely. I started following what's in my heart and stopped following all the knuckleheads that's around me. And then I was led to the knowledges that I'm able to try to give y'all now. So, I don't want no gold medals. I'm not looking for no trophy. I said, I'm not looking for nobody to follow me. I'm not looking for, for accolades. I'm looking for other people like me so we can redeem our nation, our prophet, our movement. All right. So that's what I'm on. Anybody that's on the same thing, get with me. But in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. High honors to all the active Moors. I'll do this again sometime soon. And peace and love to y'all. High honors to Prophet Noble Ali. And in Ruana Eos Roma Maris. Until we meet again, Moors. Islam.